Storm Track First Forecast, sponsored by Gary County Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Today, temperatures warmed up into the middle 50s despite a lot of cooler air settling in. We only got a glancing hit with that chilly weather. We remain clear region-wide. Temperatures throughout the night kind of wobble around through the 30s, not dropping considerably from this point on as a light breeze will develop during the night, but that does keep us from bottoming out in the morning, and eventually that becomes a southwest breeze that warms us up tomorrow. How much we warm, still to come.
Now at 9, we are just days away from November 3rd, and a record amount of Americans have already voted, and more are expected to come. So the president and former VP are doing what they can to earn the votes still uncasted.
I don't care how hard Donald Trump tries.
Joe Biden will shut down your economy.
What it will take for each candidate to get the votes they need to call the White House home. Plus, new details on a shooting that has 3 people in the hospital right now, why police say political science might be involved. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 News. I'm Molly Pat. A beautiful day to end the Halloween weekend, and I hope you enjoyed an extra hour of sleep today. Let's take a live look out of central Topeka right now before we check in with Matt to see if this sunny weather that we had today is going to stick around for the week. Matt?
Well, the good news is, yeah, it does look like it's going to be with us pretty much all week, but what will not stick around is some of this chilly air that's in place this evening. We had the clear sky, the cool air during the day, and that turned into a rather chilly evening. Of course, evening starts an hour earlier now as well, so temperatures have been cooling off pretty rapidly. Many areas down into the low to mid 30s. Now, what we don't expect to happen from this point on is a lot of significant cooling, and these setups are really hard to define what you can expect early in the morning. Typically, that's when we hit our low temperature. We'll bottom out probably here in the next couple of hours into the low 30s, and then temperatures will start rising. We've actually seen that happen at Emporia, back up to 42. Concordia's back up to 44, and that is really just where the winds are picking up a function of that. So you get that little light southerly and southwesterly wind, and it doesn't take much breeze, just a little stirring of the air, and temperatures level off. The sky remains clear overnight and on into tomorrow morning, so that's not an issue. Cloud cover pretty much absent from the area tonight, but we settle back through the low 30s, and then with a light 5-mile-per-hour south wind, temperatures stay in the mid-30s and then jump quite nicely tomorrow. We get back into some warmer weather. Just how much of a warm-up we have still to come.
We have an update to a story that we first broke to you this morning. Police say a stolen campaign sign is believed to be related to a shooting that has 3 people in the hospital right now. Just after 11 o'clock last night, police got a call to the 1300 block of Northwest Eugene in North Topeka. When police got there, they found 1 person suffering from being shot. While they were investigating on the scene, 2 other people showed up to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Police say those 2 got there with personal cars, and all 3 have serious injuries. 2 people were taken to the law enforcement center for questioning, and so today we learned that the man who confronted the people has had political signs stolen from his property in the past and believed that's why people were there to do it again. Officers say they have not confirmed that that's actually the case of what led to the shooting. They are investigating that situation right now. Another woman has life-threatening injuries after a different shooting last night in Topeka. Police responded to the 2600 block of Southeast Pennsylvania Avenue. That's between Adams and Indiana around 7:30 last night. Police say they got a call that a woman had been shot and she was taken to the hospital. And officers say they are still gathering information on what exactly happened to this shooting as well. So if you have any information about either of these, you're asked to call Topeka Police. A record number of coronavirus cases in Shawnee County is being reported right now. The health department says on Friday alone, 90 new cases were reported. Since last Sunday, the county has seen 270 new cases altogether. Officials say the cases are spread around the county, in nursing homes, and in schools. Now, across the state, more than 82,000 people have tested positive. Nearly 64,000 of those people have recovered. More than 1,000 have died from the virus in Kansas. And remember, you can always track the latest numbers and see exactly how many cases are in your county online. Just head to ksnt.com/coronavirus. Two locals are feeling good on this Sunday because they're taking home $50,000 after winning a fishing tournament over the weekend. More than 60 boats spent the weekend at Milford Lake for the National King Catfish Championship. So you're seeing video from last year's tournament at the weigh-in, but this year Eric and Jordan Horton are from Derby and they won the whole thing. Their two-day weigh-in total was more than 169 pounds. Can you believe that? They also won the biggest catfish of the tournament. You're seeing it right there. That thing weighs 48 pounds. A pair from Georgia got second place, and taking home third place was two men from Harveyville and Concordia. After months of campaigning and an election filled with unusual storylines, it will all come down to which candidate can get 270 electoral votes on Tuesday night. Brian Lennis explains what that might look like for both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden.
With just 3 days left before Election Day, both candidates are making a big push in states they see as essential to victory on Tuesday. Joe Biden has a number of paths to 270 electoral votes, the simplest carrying the three Midwestern states that Hillary Clinton could not in 2016, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. The former vice president spent Saturday in Michigan, where he was backed by his old boss, former President Barack Obama.
Get out there and vote. I don't care how hard Donald Trump tries. There's nothing, let me say it again, there's nothing that he can do to stop the people of this nation from voting in overwhelming numbers and taking back this democracy.
Perhaps the fiercest fight has been in Pennsylvania, considered a must-win state for both campaigns. The president making 4 stops here just on Saturday.
Joe Biden will shut down your economy, wipe out your factories, and shut down your state. Ship your jobs to China, raise your taxes.
President Trump will most likely also need Florida to get to 270, where polls show a tight race. He moved his official residence to the Sunshine State last year. He's had 3 campaign trips there this month and plans to return again before Election Day. On the Democrats' wish list, some potential long-shot victories like Texas. Senate races could also help potentially flip other Republican strongholds like Georgia and Arizona.
And so far, more than 90 million Americans have cast their ballots during early voting. That's about 65% of the total voter turnout that we had in 2016. Now, looking at the number of ballots that have come back locally, more than 14,000 people in Shawnee County have voted in person since early voting started. More than 26,000 ballots were sent in the mail, and so far they've gotten 74% of those back, which is just more than 10,000 ballots. A little less than 3,000 people have used the office's indoor drop box to get their ballots counted. Nearly 6,000 people used the outdoor drop box that's across the street from the election office. And so far they've seen a little over 1,000 ballots dropped off at various boxes across town. So good to see everything being used across the county. Now in Riley County, officials say more than 10,000 mail-in ballots were sent and they've gotten more than 30% back. In Lyon County, more than 3,000 were mailed and more than 65% have been returned so far. Now in total for the whole state, nearly 500,000 ballots were sent and ballots have been returned so far. But if you're not included in that number and you are still planning on voting, you still have time to vote ahead before Tuesday if you'd like. If you requested a mail-in ballot, make sure that it gets postmarked before or on November 3rd, and then it has to reach the election office by Friday in order to be counted. If you want to vote early in person, you have from 8 in the morning to noon tomorrow in Shawnee County. The same goes for Raleigh County and in Lyon County. And remember, we have got you covered leading up to Tuesday. We have candidate profiles, voting information, and we'll have live results on Tuesday, all at fox43topeka.com/elections. And the Chiefs had a great day at Arrowhead today, to say the least. Fans lucky enough to attend saw Patrick Mahomes put on a show. But if you missed it, don't worry. Sully Ingalls is here to fill us in on the big win. Sully?
That's what I do, Molly. So let's get to this game. And, you know, it's going to be the Jets and the Chiefs. The Jets may be the worst team in the league, and it was a chance to flex some muscles. Patrick Mahomes has many of those in his right arm, and today he put the team on his back, figuratively and literally. Today's also a reunion for Le'Veon Bell facing his former team in New York. But it was really all about that Mahomes magic. First drive. Helps to have a dude who can fly. McCole Hardman on the sweep counts as a pass, but Hardman doing most of the work. Some great blocking downfield. That makes it 7-0 Chiefs. Just getting started, though. After a Jets field goal, how about a fake punt? Tommy Townsend fires that bad boy over to Byron Pringle. Shouts to special teams. That's good for a first down. You know, I got to guess, coming back to the bench, you probably told Patrick Mahomes, that's how you do it. Mahomes said, hey, Come on, buddy, I'm a pro. Let me handle this thing. Fires an absolute bullet to Tyreek Hill. 36-yard touchdown. He goes up in the stands. Quite a celebration for Tyreek there. I don't know if the league will be too happy about that. But how about another touchdown? That's what Mahomes did all day. Flips that one to Travis Kelce. That one was called Stampede Right. Call what you want. It's a touchdown. Travis Kelce on the receiving end. He gets flagged for dunking as well. Tyreek didn't get a penalty. You got to tell me how that one works. Third quarter now. Patrick would like some more. Floats this one up for Demarcus Robinson. Things are getting out of hand, man. Fourth touchdown throw for Mahomes, and we'll break up some defense because the Chiefs did that pretty well too. Held the Jets under 10 points in this game. All three faces look good. Dirty Dan Sorensen gets his hand on the ball. Bashaud Breeland's going to pick that up. Awareness on 100. And, you know, this might as well just make it a handful this hunt. One more touchdown pass for Mahomes. He finds Tyreek Hill. Chiefs win it 35-9. Big win. Talk to the people, Patrick.
It's always fun to go out there and score touchdowns and do all that different type of stuff. But we've kind of been saying it all year long is we have a lot of ways that we can beat teams. And today they were doing a good job of kind of stuffing up the run. And we took it to the air and threw the ball and made plays happen that way. And so now that you kind of see it, that we can throw the ball on teams and run the ball on teams. And it's about taking what's there and finding the best way to win a football game.
If you need one more stat on how good the Chiefs have been in the last 44 or 45 games, they've scored at least 23 points. That's pretty dominant right there. And later on in sports, we'll fill you in on the other big games in the AFC and where the Chiefs are standing. Plus, K-State has a huge one next weekend. Now they'll be played a little later in the day. We'll tell you when in just a bit.
And I hope you enjoyed that extra hour of sleep, but also that early sunset thanks to daylight saving time ending today. But a few members of Congress want to change the time change. Coming up next, the history behind the time change and why some in D.C. want it changed.
Getting a little bit chilly out there tonight, and through the night we kind of hold in the low to mid 30s and then warming up nicely. 61 by noon, 66 or 67 for an afternoon high with a light southwesterly breeze through the daytime. Tomorrow should be a gorgeous day. How long this nice weather will be with us coming up.
Daylight saving time ended this morning, so if you haven't changed the clocks on your microwaves or ovens, you might want to do that before another work week starts tomorrow. However, a few members of Congress would like to change that. Fox News correspondent Chad Pergram tells us why from Capitol Hill.
Let's get one thing out of the way. You can blame Congress as to why we change the clocks twice a year.
Time policy is steeped in law. Bipartisan senators recently pushed for the U.S. to remain on daylight saving time, meaning more sunshine, less moonshine during the pandemic, hoping it would decrease the winter doldrums.
With COVID, we want people to get outside. It's a positive from a health standpoint, a positive from a mental health standpoint.
But Congress ran out of time before leaving D.C. for the election. Time has been an issue for some time now. President Trump wants your days to be longer and nights shorter. He tweeted last year the U.S. should remain on daylight saving time year-round. Back in the day, it was Congress which mandated summertime during World War I. President Woodrow Wilson wanted to go back in time, losing an hour after the war. But Congress said it was the timekeeper and overrode his veto, one of only 112 veto overrides ever. The Uniform Time Act of 1966 established time zones which determine when we change the clocks. And Congress put the U.S. on daylight saving time for 2 years after the 1973 OPEC oil embargo, because more daylight meant less energy use. But not even Congress is the father of time.
The amount of daylight doesn't change. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way yet to move some daylight from the summer to the winter, which would be very nice.
That means 2020 isn't going to be any shorter.
No matter what the clock says or Congress says, everyone can agree this pandemic can't be over soon enough. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
But just focus on the positive. We did get the extra hour of sleep. We'll just leave it at that. 67 degrees tomorrow, mostly sunny, a mild day with southwest wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. A gorgeous start to what looks to be a really nice week out ahead of us. Just how much we warm up this week, still to come.
Now, your storm track weather with Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller.
Tonight, we've got chilly weather moving through the area, and again, not really moving. It's somewhat stationary right over the top of us. But once the air starts moving again, we actually will see temperatures level off, if not even rise a couple of degrees toward morning. And lots of sunshine with a southwest breeze will warm up tomorrow. Should be quite warm by Tuesday, and then all the way through the week, dry and warm weather through at least Saturday, with our next chance for some showers moving in next weekend on Sunday. Clear sky right now at Emporia. A little bit warmer to the south and to the west, but it's clear and cold in Manhattan as well as in Topeka, both locations in the lower to middle 30s. Right now 34. It is calm. The dew point's really low, and that's one of the reasons why we've cooled off a lot. It is still possible that we'll get a few areas in the upper 20s and low 30s briefly, and that may even be before midnight, and then temperatures rise again back into the low to mid 30s. This morning it was down to about 37. We've already hit 34, so that's on today's books as the low temperature. It's the current 56 for the high, average high 62. So we came in a little bit below average, but we're about to go back above average for a little while. Notice these temperatures from Concordia to Salina to Emporia and Burlington are a little bit warmer in the upper 30s and 40s, comparing that to a kind of a mix of lower to mid 30s everywhere else. And that is also because we're starting to see the breeze redevelop. As high pressure moves away, light southerly winds will return. And as the breezes pick up toward morning to just about 5 or 15, that's just enough to cause temperatures to stop cooling down. And that'll happen during the second half of the night. And then brisk southwesterly winds at about 10 to 15 miles per hour will turn around and start warming us up quite a bit through the daytime tomorrow. The winds let up tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, but they stay southerly even into Tuesday. Not a strong wind, but just enough of a south breeze to really boost temperatures over the next couple of days. Clear sky over most of the region. We had a few thin clouds to kind of take away what was otherwise a clear sky. With a big ridge of high pressure dominating the west, we're seeing a lot of warmth building across the western United States. Not heat, it is November by now, but warmth. And that warmth is going to spread eastward for a few days, giving us a really nice start to the month of November. We do have colder weather maybe next week, the way things are shaping up right now, but all the more reason to enjoy what we'll have under a clear sky. A little crisp, a little chilly tonight, but then we warm up tomorrow with sunshine. We'll head into Tuesday, clear overnight, sunshine again on Tuesday. This is a loop. There's just no clouds of significance on it. That's how clear we're going to be. And that's not just for the next day or two. It's really for the majority of the week. Tonight we dropped to 34. It's where we are right now. We kind of wobble around through the low to mid 30s. All when that breeze picks up, that's when the temperatures rise. And when it dies down, they cool back a few degrees. But once we warm up tomorrow with the sunshine and southwesterly breezes, that chilly air is gone and we're back up to a high of 67. And the next several nights, not as cold. We're looking at overnight lows after tomorrow night to be more into the 40s and middle to upper 40s at that. But look at these warmer temperatures. 75 Tuesday, 73 Wednesday, middle to upper 70s late in the week. And then our first of two cold fronts comes in, cooling us off for Sunday with a few showers. Should be even colder by next week. Look at yesterday's, last night's moon over the lake there from Ann O'Brien. Beautiful. Not always what you want to see necessarily, but they're beautiful in their own way there with that coyote in Hiawatha, or coyote, I guess depends on how you want to call it. Stephen Wright in Topeka this evening, as well as the sun going down over a clear sky in Manhattan. And from that is from Jack Lindquist, obviously this evening.
A picture perfect night, to say the least. Well, coming up next, we'll take a look around the NFL at one game that matters most for the Chiefs. Plus, K-State has its biggest game of the year on Saturday, and it starts at a new time. Find out when after the break.